Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Joining me on this special broadcast is our editor, Investigations and News, Prema Sridevi. She's joining us from our studios in Delhi. And Prema is going to be putting before us a story that she has been working on for some time. I just want to put a little bit of background before you come in, Prema. Now, we all know that there was a lot of corruption during the Manmohan Singh government, and that this happened at all levels of the government. But we also know that much of the corruption came out because of some extremely meticulous work that was done by the Comptroller and Auditor General. In this case, especially Mr. Vinod Rai, who over a couple of years and more made dramatic changes to the level of scrutiny of government projects. And this led to questions being raised about expenses, 2G spectrum, amount of leakages that were happening inside the government. Now, what the story that Prema puts forth today is dramatic for the simple reason that nobody in the world, Prema, would believe, and I just want to introduce the story before we put it out, that there could have been a scam within the CAG, and that the CAG could have become party not to the opening up of the truth, but the CAG could have become a party to the concealment of the truth. And Prema, you can tell us a little bit more about what we are about to put out today.
Well, Arnab, this story is very sensitive and sensational in nature. If you see, we're going to hear a man who was working in the high office of the Comptroller and Auditor General. You and I know, Arnab, we have been trying to track this man for the last 5 months. We've been trying to convince him to speak to us regarding this massive corruption. And finally, it took him 5 months to agree to us and come before the camera. And he's finally decided to face the cameras and speak about what happened inside the CAG. And this story is extremely important, Arnab, because the man who we are going to hear right now, he is speaking only for 2 reasons. He says the office of the CAG is a constitutional authority, and the office of the Comptroller and Auditor General should not be influenced by any political party, be it the Congress or the BJP. He also says that as an officer working in the CAG, at least anybody who does auditing of reports should be able to work in a free and a fair environment. And he says that no government, be it the Congress or the BJP, should be in a position to actually interfere with the working of the CAG. If you see, Arnab, this is one of the biggest breakings, because for the first time, the office of the Comptroller and Auditor General is going to be under the scanner.
Yes.
And if you see, the CAG's office has been credited for breaking scams, for uncovering scams like the 2G scam, and the very same office of the Comptroller and Auditor General is today going to be under the scanner for covering up of scams. And also, this story is also going to speak about how the UPA government had the gumption to actually influence the Comptroller and Auditor General, put pressure on the CAG's office to keep a lot of scams hidden from the public purview.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Essentially, Prema, to put it simply, people must be thinking what this big scam of scams is all about. Viewers, the truth was hidden from you by the Manmohan Singh government. The Manmohan Singh government put pressure on the Comptroller and Auditor General. There is a serious possibility that the CAG was compromised. Because the CAG was compromised, damning information and mega scams that were ready to be exposed and placed before Parliament was blocked. All of this was happening in the last part of 2013. There are documents to prove it. As they say always, a thief leaves fingerprints. The truth is always there. But more importantly than all that is the most stunning reason, the most stunning fact, which presumably many people would refuse to understand had it not been for a fact, Prema, that you've got the whistleblower on record. You could have said all this and the Congress party would respond to you saying rubbish and tripe and speculation. Only today, Manmohan Singh should gather the spine to face up to the person who's going to go on record today. And he's no spring chicken, Prema. The person we are speaking about specifically here is a senior-most officer, isn't it, who has turned whistleblower.
Well, Arnab, if you see the senior-most person, officer, one of the senior-most persons in the CAG, he left office in 2016, December 31st. So it's not even a year since he has left office, and he has decided to speak. He's decided to speak about the massive corruption within the CAG.
Yeah.
He speaks about what happened when these audit reports were being when these audit reports were being prepared. He also speaks why certain audit reports were tabled before the parliament and certain audit reports were never tabled before the parliament. He also speaks about the kind of political pressure that he as an officer had to undergo, his entire office had to undergo during the time of UPA 2.
Yeah.
He also speaks about how the former CAG was under influence. He speaks about how he knew personally about instances where the former CAG had himself told him that ministers were calling and there was high pressure. This entire story, Arnab, is very sensitive in nature. This is for the first time, Arnab, the CAG office is actually going to come under scandal.
So, viewers, the Comptroller and Auditor General was compromised. The office of the Comptroller and Auditor General was compromised. This is on record now. And it is being said by the Director General of the CAG. You cannot dismiss this fact. It's a strong allegation. I agree it's an allegation. But it's not an allegation that you can turn aside and blow over. And for the simple reason, because the person you're going to hear today is the person who audited the sensational 2G report. And hence the person you're going to hear today is the person who actually broke individually through his hard work and audits one of the biggest scams in the country ever since our independence. I think, Prema, there's a lot of interest building up. I think we should break the story. A lot of people calling, they want to hear the whistleblower. But one thing, viewers, I'll say before you. The whistleblower in this case says, all the scams were there, we were about to present it in Parliament, we were stopped from doing so because we were told it could affect the outcome of the 2014 general elections. That is the critical part of it. So you were told lies and not allowed to have a share of the truth because the Congress party felt that you would vote differently. We're going with the story now, viewers. Broadly speaking, during the 10 years of the Manmohan-Sonia regime, the Congress party gifted India a scam every season. 2G, Colgate, Devas ISRO, CWG, Aircel Maxis, Armsgate, Choppergate. Just think about it. And just when we thought that the list couldn't get any longer, a huge skeleton has tumbled out and fallen out of the UPA's corruption register. This is the mother of all bombs, the father of all scams. This is the scam to bury scams. And not one, not two, this is the story of the burial of 11 scams. And the pressure that the Congress UPA 2 government put on one auditor at the office of the CAG to ensure they were never brought before the Parliament of India. This is the betrayal of the country, the cheating of India, and it was done to stem the tide of public opinion against the extremely corrupt Congress regime. The most sensational part about this scam of scams is that it was surreptitiously carried out within the CAG by the use of pressure, influence, and bureaucratic tactics. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, an official in the CAG comes on record and tells Republic Investigations Editor Prema Sridevi about this scam of scams.